The show where we dive deep into fascinating stories, insightful interviews, and valuable insights. Whether you're a longtime enthusiast or just discovering interest in our type of rant for the first time, each episode we explore many different facets of politics, news, weather, you name it, and bring you conversations about professionals, enthusiasms, politicians, professionals. I said that twice from the latest research breakthrough stories. So whether you're looking to expand your knowledge or stay up to date on the latest development or simply explore what we're ranting about today, guys, welcome to the Rant Network. This is my partner, David Solomon, and today we're going to be ranting about double standards, racism at its worst, and I gotta tell you, Lennon is a lemon is a lemon because frankly, I think the guy needs to not only apologize, the guy needs to be tossed out of CNN. He is a pure and utter autocrat racist. David, welcome.
Well, thanks, Stuart, and I really appreciate being back here. I'm sorry for the slight delay in my, my jumping in. I know this has been a little bit crazy, but folks, I got to tell you, I am quite ill today because I just can't stand when minorities attack other minorities. I can't stand when racism, hatred, insults are being flung because they think that, you know what? It's acceptable. Because we're an oppressed minority, we're allowed to do whatever and say whatever. What am I talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite politicians of all time, Nikki Haley, announced her official candidacy for the GOP. She wants to absolutely displace Donald Trump as the candidate for 2024. For those of you who are not familiar with Nikki Haley, she is one of the most incredible politicians who stood up to tyranny, autocrats, haters of the America. She stood up to those that did not want to take down the Confederate flag at the South Carolina legislature on both sides of the aisle, by the way. Republicans and Democrats alike did not want to take it down. She insisted on this hate symbol. Now, she is an immigrant from India. Okay, her family came from India, and her name is Nimrata. Nikki Haley is her married name. And yet the insults began right there. How come she didn't take her name Nimrata, which is her first name, and just go with it? Why did she Americanize it with Nikki? Nikki was her middle name. For God's sakes, people. How many people take their first name, middle name? But no, let's go pick on that because she's ashamed of her ethnicity. She's ashamed of her culture. This is what their accusations are. And Nikki Haley has been upfront the entire time about it. Why did she change her last name? She married somebody's last name is Haley. What the hell do you guys want from her? But we have to go and pick as much to disgrace because she's a Republican. Because had she been a Democrat, they would have put her on her shoulders. They would have made her into a champion, a big champion. And instead, because she's on the GOP, she has to be the devil incarnate. She has to be. Now, forget the fact that she went out and she said she supported Donald Trump. She was a loyal soldier in the United Nations as a member of the Republican Party. She did not want to disgrace the president while she was working for him for the 2 years that she represented him. She didn't disgrace him. And people are saying, oh, she called him the best president ever, and how dare she, blah, blah, blah. Guys, can we go after her record? Can we go after what she's accomplished or not accomplished rather than her ethnicity, her color of her skin, her, no. And congratulations to those ladies on The View who did exactly what I expected. Why not talk about her? They decided that there was something mentally wrong. This is the words, mentally wrong with Nikki Haley because as a woman, a minority, she should never be on the GOP. She should never be conservative. Now, I did not realize, and I've been looking at American medical journals, Stuart, but becoming a conservative has not been diagnosed as a condition, okay? Mental or physical or otherwise. And yet, these people on The View who are of various ethnicities have decided to take horrific pot shots at Nikki Haley. And this is where I'm disgusted. How dare a minority that claims to be oppressed, insulted, disgraced, believes in critical race theory, goes out and craps all over Nikki Haley.
Listen, David, let's take a step back. Nikki Haley was a diplomat. She was an author. She's born in Bamberg, South Carolina. She served the United Nations. She was the 116th governor. She's been a member of the Republican Party for as long as I can recall. She began in politics in 2004, right? She focused on doing work for the people, by the people, right? And has thrown her hat into the ring for president. Now, Lemon, who is a racist, who is
Don Lemon from CNN. Don Lemon from CNN. Let's be clear.
Don Lemon is a racist. He is an anti-woman, anti-female. You know, if you went to your significant other or any woman on the street and said, "You're not in your prime," I'm sorry.
Past your prime. Past prime.
Okay. You correct this statement. Either way, it's the same end story. Is not only deplorable, disgusting, but all the same, where are the women of The View to go and represent females? They want to represent transgender. They want to represent gay. They want to represent the underdog. But you, as a conservative, you're not in your prime. You know what? Whoopi Goldberg, you need to retire. You're out of your prime, right? All these people are out of their prime, according to Lemon. So as an individual who loves everyone, I really do love everyone. David, do you love everyone?
No. But I'll tell you, Stuart, I
do.
I don't love everyone because I could like people. I don't have to love them. But here's the thing, Stuart, that you said that's very interesting, right? Right? Don Lemon, who is of African American descent, decided to attack Nikki Haley as a minority, as a woman.
Yep.
And you're right. Where are the women on the left to stand up in the media? I mean, now he has to apologize to his CNN staff. I mean, give me a break. These apologies, like they're like, you know, it's like when you go to somebody and you say, and my father used to tell me this line, you know, it's like, you know, you call your neighbor a bitch, and then you go, oh, sorry, and you go, oh, sorry, bitch. You know, like this is essentially what Don Lemon has done, is he keeps saying sorry and it means nothing. I'll tell you what the problem is. The left is so tarnished. It's disgraced because it's not true to its own mantra. If the mantra was to save and to help those who need it, minorities alike. By the way, women are not a minority. They're treated worse than a minority, but they're not a minority because they are the majority of the population in the United States. By a few percentage points, but they are the majority. But they are treated as fifth-class citizens. And here, when it's convenient to those nasty women at The View, okay, and that's what they are. They're nasty. If they're not on the left, they're wrong. If they're not part of the Democratic Party, there's something mentally wrong with them. And yet, there is no anger being thrown at, not from anybody. It's about disgracing because of the party she's associated with. Again, her track record is phenomenal. And yet all that they want to do here is disgrace.
David, when a black person calls another black person the N-word, this is acceptable. Okay? Should it be acceptable? The answer is not. When a white person calls a black person an N-word, it shouldn't be acceptable either. When a black person calls a white person a cracker, that shouldn't be acceptable. We have to be civil to one another. It is something that is reasonable. Don Lemon crossed the line. The man is
It's
a
not only him, though.
polarizing racist.
Stuart, it's not just Don Lemon. It's right now, since Nikki Haley has announced her candidacy, she's been vilified by the left. Everything to do with her, from, like I said, from her name to the color of her skin, to the fact she's a woman. Don Lemon said she's past her prime. I mean, I would be very astonished to understand how an 80-year-old white man in the White House is better suited, with his lack of competency and communication skills and all the rest of that stuff, is not past his prime. But Nikki Haley, who's slightly younger than I am, and who I met, by the way, and she's absolutely a spectacular individual. I didn't say
never met her.
Individual. Okay, she's past her prime because she's a woman. Don,
well, she's actually she's a year younger than me. You know, she's turning 52 or is 52 already, or is about to. I don't know what month. She's born in 1972. Listen, she is a politician. All the same, they're not above reproach. They do make mistakes. They do get errors. But Don Lemon, you're a pig. You need to be literally removed. You know, if you hate women, if you hate black women, and you're a self-deprivating minority, you know, there's a place for you. There really is.
She's not black. Stuart, Nikki Haley is not black, but she's a member of a minority.
Color. I didn't say black. She's of color.
No, you did. You said no.
She's of color.
Black. You hate. No, but you said black women, and I'm like, no. I'm sorry.
David,
I think Stuart. No. I'm not. I'm just. The thing that disgusts me is that if you're a member of a so-called oppressed minority class, does that give you the right to oppress and insult another minority? No, it does not. In fact, it's the opposite. You should be building bridges, not destroying them. But this is exactly what Don Lemon likes to do. He likes to, and you know what? It's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement. It's the same thing with others on the left. They are destructive. They want to destroy anybody who doesn't agree with them, who doesn't side with them.
I'm going to quote a very famous Democrat, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She wants to step on the necks of all the conservatives.
Well, but again, I mean, Debbie Wasserman Schultz went after all conservatives. I'm talking about an individual, high class, well reputed, accomplished politician, both domestic and international, which, by the way, if you take a look and you put Joe Biden's 40 plus years of record in politics next to Nikki Haley's, 15, 20 years in politics, Nikki Haley's accomplished way more than Joe Biden.
Of course.
Way more. Okay?
I agree.
Tell me what Joe Biden did to change America other than make it worse. Nikki Haley changed South Carolina. Single-handedly changed South Carolina by removing the Confederate flag. She helped and helped allies around the world, American allies around the world, through thick and thin at the United Nations. And Joe Biden's taken these same allies and throw them under a bus. So just to give you an idea, if you would rather have, you folks like Don Lemon and you guys on the left want that white man that you guys all vilify, all white people, but you don't want a well-accomplished woman, you're disgusting. You're disgusting.
David,
and I'm
David, I take it you're a little annoyed. We got to end the broadcast. We're at our quarter hour. It's Friday. The week's over. You know, David, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends and family.
Stuart, I'm going to tell you, I want to wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Please take it easy. Enjoy. And please share the word about the Rant Network. We're on live. As Stuart has told you, if you've never been here before, this is an open live platform. We welcome your comments. We welcome your suggestions. And if you have any friends and family who haven't heard us yet, please share either the podcast or the link to our Rumble, Facebook, YouTube pages. Stuart, you have the last word.
The last word is goodbye.